Shalom, this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under command in General YAHANNA, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. The I.S.U.P.K is not affiliated with any other group, you understand? I'm Priest and Officer of 500, Shamgar Bun Bun Yum Yum, holding it down for the Tuesday Brotherhood class down here in the city of London in the UK. Shalom, Yahweh Shashakta,
Shalom, y'all was the start.
you understand? And this is the UK Brotherhood class, you understand? And today's topic is true brotherhood is found within our record. You understand? You know what I mean? Blacks understand this. The I.S.U.P.K since 1969 has been teaching that the so-called blacks of the transatlantic slave trade and the natives of North, Central, and South America. We've been teaching according to the Bible, prophecies, and other archaeology and historical facts that the Israelites slack it
Look at
that
all.
the Israelites are the true that those people are the true biblical Israelites according to the Bible, you understand? And and with that, understand that how throughout the Bible we understand the Israelites lost their heritage, understand? They don't know who they are today in 2021, wherever they may be scattered all over the Americas and the Western Hemisphere and all over the world. You understand that we are those people that need to come back to our heritage. For too long, blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans have been oppressed by the so-called white man, you understand, our oppressor. You understand? Many other nations around about us that wherever we may dwell, they look down upon us and treat us like nothing. You understand? But meanwhile, in the midst of all the oppression that we suffer and our political and financial status as a body of people, as low as that may be, you know, every nation around about us envies us, man. Everything that we do, our music, our style, our food, you know, you name it, anything that we touch turns to gold, man. Every other nation wants to envy and be us, be at the same time every nation hates us. And we have to understand that through oppression and losing our heritage and being misled and mistaught by false prophets in the Christian church and the Muslim mosque and various other, you know, religions and philosophies out there, we have lost our way. You understand? We have lost the true brotherhood that we once kept according to the Bible. We lost what it means to love your people. You understand? In so-called 2021, you understand, blacks and Hispanics still believe that, you know, we suffer strongly from Stockholm syndrome. You understand?
Right.
We as a people suffer from Stockholm syndrome. If you don't know, Stockholm syndrome is a condition of a captive that has been kidnapped or enslaved or what have you. That captive, even though he's been abused and mistreated and held against his will, he then turns to have some kind of affection or love for his captor. And that's blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today. We believe that our oppressor and the nations that are around about us, we believe that they love us. We somewhat believe that they actually can benefit us to the extent of loving them and being one and all in this big giant rainbow coalition. We believe that lie, which is called Christianity. You understand? That's what's promoted in Christianity and the Muslim mosque, because the Muslim mosque teaches the same philosophy as Christianity. Both of them are Christianity, and there are many forms of it. You understand? Coming together with all nations, loving everybody, but meanwhile, the progenitors of that religion are the ones that are put in high esteem, and the slaves, which unfortunately is us, we love to look up to the oppressor, whether it be the Arabs or the white man. You understand? We love to look for their love and their affection. But meanwhile, in our communities, wherever we may dwell, in the ghettos, you understand, we oppress each other. In the ghettos, we don't have that same affection and love and compassion that we have for these other nations. You understand? We hate those who look just like us. We hate those who come from the same background as us and the same history as us. You understand? But meanwhile, you want to go and love other nations who historically have only looked down upon us and has physically oppressed and slaughtered us. You understand?
Right.
And even to this very day, you look about and you look in the reality of the world that we live in, we have to comprehend and understand that all these nations are against us. No matter how you want to love them, no matter how you want to be a part of their religion and be a part of their government and their, you know, philosophy and their, you know, their what they call it, what do you call it again? Their political parties and all that nonsense, man. Listen, all of that is not for you, black man,
Right.
Hispanic man, Native American man. None of that is for you. That has never helped us. You understand? When men like Martin Luther King, traitors like that, are put into power and are pushed forward, they end up betraying our people. They end up damaging us and bringing us further down than what we once was. You understand? We always make something for ourselves and come together with ourselves and do greatly in history. History always repeats itself. You understand? We do so greatly and we do so well when we come together. But then when one of us wants to love the heathen and be weak and soft, you understand? Then we fall. You understand? And just like how before Martin Luther King, black and black crime, so called, was non-existent. You understand? Yes, there was some level of crime in every community, but the black on black crime that we see today, you understand, that is so put out there and sloganed. You understand? That's not what we saw back then. Back then, we knew who our enemy was. You understand? Right. Back then, we knew to love ourselves. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Even back in the time of Black Wall Street. You understand? And before that, and even if you go back during the slave revolts in the Caribbean and Jamaica with the Maroons, who did those blacks side with? The Tainos whose land was stolen from them. And just like in America now, who do blacks and Hispanics, join with? They join with each other, man. Yes, we've been taught lies and we've been taught to hate one another, and we've been caused to be divided among how we look and with different languages that we've been forced to speak. But we know we have a common oppressor. We have a common history as well. You understand? And so, like, if you could get me First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 11, Bob Kashar. Because just to touch on that point about having leaders within our communities that have always looked to be like our enemies, be like our oppressors. Wherever we may have been in history, we have always had sellout coons with no backbone and love to grin teeth with their oppressor. And in the motion and the time of their, wanting to be a part of the oppressor and be a part of their whole nation and have that love for their so-called country, you understand, who oppressed and hates them. We've always had men who are weak and love massa. You understand? Salaka, if you could.
Salaka, no. Is that First Maccabees 11 verse 6?
No, 1 verse 11.
Salaka,
you understand? We have to remember the times of old that the scriptures say, like our records say. You know what I mean? This book called the Bible, this King James 1611 Bible, you understand, is our record. Is the history of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And today we have been taught that it is not our book. Well, we have to understand that it's our forefathers who wrote these great records and scrolls. And today in history, that's why it's come up today as being in the Bible. King James 1611 Bible is the most, you understand, is the most accurate translation. Is the most accurate translation you're ever going to find, and has the full Bible in there. You understand? There's a book called the Apocrypha in the Bible, which was taken out by the Protestant church. You understand? And and once again, another act of our oppressors. And the Protestant church took out 18 books called the Apocrypha, which means hidden books in Greek, correct? You understand? And this book called the Bible has 80 books, but we're taught in church has 50 or something like that. You understand? And that's not according to the Bible, but this is what these our oppressors have done with our records. And then they've also done is added their Christianity and their images and put them upon us. But so I can read that about the show.
First Maccabees 1 verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
So this is in past tense, you understand? This is the time of Alexander the so-called great, you know what I'm saying? He's the Greek, he ain't great. You're nothing great about a homosexual and heathen homosexual at that, you understand? Ain't nothing great about that, man. But that's what they call him, so-called Alexander the Greek. This is in that time. In the time of the Greeks when they had their empire, and we was slaves in that empire, like many empires. And and in this time, back in these days, ancient times, there was wicked men that you see just like the time of Martin Luther King. Just like today with many other Christian leaders and pastors who love to bow down and be subservient to their oppressors. You understand? Just like today where we see it, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, you understand, all these weak men, you know what I mean, T.D. Jakes, all the rest of it, what's the other one? Creflo Dollar. All these men of great renown in this kingdom. Well, this is like back then. These were men of great renown that loved to serve their oppressor, and the Bible calls them wicked men. So, like you read on.
Who persuaded many, saying,
Mm-hmm.
let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that
So,
are round about us.
so there you go, man. You understand? This is what these men did. This is what these wicked men did. They convinced many blacks and Hispanics that they have been convinced by the Christian church and the men of renown and these so-called religious leaders of the day. You understand? And just like back then, just like today, they convinced many people. In them churches, they got many people, man. They got millions of people in one friggin' church. Some of them churches are even converted stadiums. You understand? But this is the reality of the world that we live in. This is the history of the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Lord's chosen people. This is the history of a nation of people who have always endured oppression and have always suffered at the hands of weak men, weak leaders, wicked men. You understand? And these men, what they did is they convinced thousands and millions of our brothers and sisters, just like today, to make a covenant with the heathen. A covenant would be, you understand, an agreement. Making a covenant today would be like joining their military, voting. You know what I'm saying? Being a part of their little world. You understand? And we have to understand this. We can be in this world. We don't have to be of it. We don't have to take part in their religions and their holidays and their activities. You understand? We can live here and be as our own people. We don't have to be, loving them and following everything they do, celebrating Christmas and birthdays and every pagan custom that they promote in their kingdom. Right. These men would have been the progenitors of those people. They were the ones that would have brought in, blacks celebrating Christmas and birthdays. They would have been those men. There would have been those men who would promote, young black men to be feminine and say that children can choose their genders. You understand? These are the things that are pushed in this society. And these weak men who have no backbone nor integrity, these weak men, these wicked weak men, you understand? These men allowed these things to come in our communities, man. You understand? Martin Luther King allowed those things to come in our communities. Martin Luther King allowed all those businesses, black businesses that was thriving and strong. He allowed us to be soft and weak and sell those businesses, you understand? So now we have no increase of our own. You understand? So like you read on.
Got a one concept. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
So there you go, man. Since we departed and since we joined to the hands of the heathen, you understand? We have much sorrow. Salakia, my bad. What you say? Salakia, read that again because I missed a bit.
For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
Read up above it again, Salakia.
Who persuaded men, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrows.
So this is what these men said. They said, just like in the time of Egypt, when we was leaving the oppressor, you understand, some so-called Hamites, so like the Hamites today, you understand, the so-called Africans today, you understand, when we was leaving out of the hands of the captors of the heathen in Egypt, there was men that was in that multitude that was like, listen, man, when we was in Egypt, we was eating good. You know? Massa fed us, man. We had food. We was good. We was protected from wild animals and all the rest of it. Just like here, you know what I'm saying? There's always been men in Israel that are weak and love to love the oppressor, love our heathens. You know what I'm saying? Love those heathens, man. You understand? And this is right here, because this is their plea. They're like, listen, since we departed from the heathen, you know what I'm saying, and departed from following what they do, following their birthdays and Christmas and all the manners of holidays that they promote and that are unclean according to our laws. You understand? We've been suffering much sorrow. You understand? We've been going through hell, man. Let's go back and love the heathen. So like you read on.
So this device leads them well.
Go ahead.
Verse 13. Then certain of the people were so forward therein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
So there you go, man. some of those men were so forward, meaning perverse. You understand? Like just like today, man. Many of our brothers and sisters are perverse. They want to go to the king and the leaders and the governments of the heathen, and be able to commit the sins and eat pork, eat shrimp, crab, lobster. You
Right.
know, eat bat. You know what I'm saying? Eat whatever you want, do whatever you want. Be a whoremonger. You understand? Have no levels of understanding of, order and law. Just do what the hell, whatever feels good. This is
Right.
what we learn from the heathen. This is what we
Right.
learn from them. They are the beasts of the field, man.
Right.
Literally, they are beasts, man. They are wild animals, man. They have no level of understanding of limitations, no boundaries. But with us, our culture is lawfulness and structure and
Right.
cleanness, man. You
Right.
understand? Homosexuality is only causes death and confusion. You understand? Homosexuality is unclean and against all nature and science. You understand? It makes no sense, and it is just vile, and it only produces disease and death. You understand? It doesn't produce life. That's a damn sure. But this is what's promoted, and this is what our young men are forced to succumb to in this kingdom, man. Our young men are forced to succumb to this weak, no backbone, shaven face, bald head. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just weak, man. You
Yeah.
understand? Looking like what our oppressor would love, and what these Christian pastors would love to be, is just like, you know what I mean. What's his name, man?
Chris
So like
Eubank.
a second.
Chris Eubank.
That's the one. You know what I mean? Chris Eubank, man. That's what they want black men to be, like that. Weak and soft, and throw away how we talk and how we carry ourselves. Throw away that Benjamite talk and that accent, and just be all soft and pretty and pathetic, man. You understand? Weak and emotional and effeminate. That's what they want us to be, man. So that we can't defend our people, so that we can't defend our young ones and our sons and daughters and our wives, man. You understand? That's what they want us to be. That's the only way, because that will destroy us from the inside out. And that's why we become a laughing stock among these heathens, man. You understand? But Salaki, if you drop that, yeah, going back to the main topic, you understand? If you get me March the 12th, verse 29, Bokashar, you understand? Like, we as a people need to remember that we come from a great and a powerful and mighty nation, man. And the Most High Power has chosen us to be great. You understand? He has chosen us to be that nation. He has chosen us to be great and loving and powerful and righteous, man. You understand? And in the midst of all that, in the midst of all the political leaders and religious leaders of the day who promote and push us to be weak and to love our heathens or heathen oppressors, you understand? This, amongst all of that, they will promote self-hate. They will promote that you must look up to the oppressor. You must look up to another nation of people to look at what's good and what's right. You understand? And when you look at your own nation, you're supposed to look down and look at this. He's so black, and he's just, you know what I mean. He loves himself too much. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to conform. You know what I mean? And be, throw aside your integrity and just conform to this world. That's what they want to promote. You understand? And that will be our undoing. That has only been our undoing from the time we were dragged on cargo slave ships. You understand? And from the time that those conquistadors came over South America, it has only ever been our undoing, because we want to do and follow the customs of the heathen. You understand? We want to follow their religions, follow their philosophies, and live how they live. When we have our own philosophy, man, we have our own law and structure and guidance system, man. We have our own culture, but we have thrown that away because in the midst of all of it, we have turned to hate one another, man. We have turned against one another. We have chosen to forsake our brothers. At one point in time, you know what I mean? In one point in history, you know that, listen, man, a black man and another black man would look at each other and respect, you know what I mean? Because we the same. But then over time, when we started following weak leaders and wicked men, we started to throw away our brothers, mistreat our brothers, rob our brothers, kill our brothers, you understand? Destroy our own communities, and go want to live it up with the oppressor. You understand? Instead of trying to build your brothers and trying to help your brothers in the community. That's what we've turned. We've turned into a nation that hates its own. And that's why the brotherhood class is so important, and it's so prudent, because it is the medicine that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans need within our communities, man. But so lucky, read that book, Bishop.
What do I call? Mark 12, verse 9.
Salaki 29.
Select the one.
No, sir.
Mark 4, verse 29. And Yahushua answered him, the first of all the commandments is, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one. Is one Lord, Salakia. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength.
So that's it, man. We should serve the Most High power with all our strength, man. We should put everything that we have and that we can conjure up. You know what I mean? And all that we have within ourselves, and whatever the Lord's blessed us with, to serve the Most High, man. Do all that we can to keep the Lord's feast days, man. To keep the Lord's dietary laws, and to keep the statutes which was given unto the men of the Most High, man. You understand? Keep these things which the Lord gave us, man. So like you read on.
And the second is like, namely, this: thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
So you understand that. You understand the second is like mainly this, because you know what I mean. You can't love the Most High. You can't love the Most High with all your heart and soul, and hate your people. It is impossible. You understand? It's something that has been repeated multiple times, but it cannot be reiterated enough. You understand? Because the Christian church teaches that you can love the Most High and love God and love our King Yahushua, but you understand, you can still hate your people. You can still be a sellout and love the oppressor rather than your people. That's what they teach in the Christian church. That's the spirit that comes with the Christian church and white Jesus. You understand? The Muslim is the same thing. You know what I mean? You're taught that you can love the Most High, or whatever they call him, right? That rock in the east, right? And you can love the Most High, and you can still treat your brothers like crap and sell drugs in your community. You understand? Just like the what they call it, the bow ties and them thing there. Franklin, what's his name? Bro, I don't know what his name is, but the bow tie people, you know what I'm saying? The bean pies and them thing there. You understand? Them man, the Islam, selling drugs to the people, killing one of the mighty men of the Lord. You understand? This is what comes about from serving these false religions and false things, man. And this is what they teach. But understand the Bible in its entirety and its fullness. You understand? You understand that you cannot love the Most High and not love your people. You cannot hate your brother. It is impossible. You would have to love your brother as yourself. You understand? You cannot. It's impossible, man. You understand? It's like saying you eat clean food. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You keep it. You're saying that you keep the law, but yet you eat shrimp. It's like that, man. It's like saying you keep the law, but yet you want to be a homosexual. You understand? It don't work like that. You understand? So like you read on.
Sir. If I could, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a scripture that says, if you how can you love God who you can't see, and your brother, you say you hate your brother who you can't see, just to add on to what you just did.
That's a heavy precept, man. That's true. I think that's in John or 2 John, right? But you understand that's the truth of the matter, man. You know what I mean? You can't love the Most High. You know what I mean? You've never seen no man. You know what I mean? You never seen the Father, but you know what I mean? The people that you come from, the tribes and nation that you come from, you can't love them. You can't love them of whom our King was sent unto. You understand? Nah, man, it don't work like that. But the Christian church will teach you otherwise. They'll teach that heresy otherwise. The fake Israelites teach the same thing. The same thing as the Christian church. They will say that you can love an African, but you can hate your sister. You understand? You can hate your brothers, your true brothers and sisters, but you can love Africans. The GOCC will tell you you can love the white man. He can be saved, man. He can come into the kingdom with us and be all happy and drinking and everything. Nah, man. This is what they push because they are weak. They are weak men who do not have what the Lord has given us, man. That integrity, that strength. You understand? That strength which is only found in the I.S.U.P.K under command John YAHANNA, man. You understand?
That's right.
You understand? So like read on Babkusha.
Quran Council. There is none other commandment greater than these. Verse 32. And the scribe said unto him.
That's it on that. That's it on that. You understand? But the Bible says there's no other commandment greater than these, man. When you serve the Most High and you keep to His statutes and His laws, and you love your brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? There's none greater than this. You fulfill all those laws and those because you'll be doing it according to what the scriptures have said and what scriptures has given us, man. You will not have to think about it because this will be in you, man. You understand? You'll be guided. You'll be following the man of the Lord, and you'll be guided to the way you should be living and should be conducting yourself. You understand? But in this day and age, we don't know what brotherhood is. Within our communities in the world, the brothers and sisters in the world, they don't know what brotherhood is, man. They think their brother's the Arab man. They think their brother's the oppressor. You know what I mean? The Caucasian man. They think their brother is everything else other than their own people. That's what they think their brother is, man. They think their brother is someone who sells them weed, man. Which is, but that's the reality of the world we live in, man. You understand? That's the reality of the world we live in. They don't know what brotherhood is, and even to that extent, they hate their people, man. They hate themselves, and they have not been properly guided because of the vile strongholds of these religions that have been promoted and pushed within our communities, man. The vile religions and strongholds that have only been our undoing. So, like, though, if you get me, Leviticus 19 and verse 17, Bob Kashar. You understand? These are the precepts that these are like the fundamentals of brotherhood in the scriptures, man. These are the fundamentals. This is what is written, man. This is our guideline because aforetime this was just general. This is just basic knowledge that everyone knew within Israel. You understand? Within Yasha'Allah, this was just regular that everyone knew. But in this time, man, we have fallen from our way, and there's many different groups and institutions that have only brought us people down and scattered us around the earth, man. You understand? But there is something about that black man from the Caribbean. There is something about those blacks of the Americas, man. You understand? There is something about the natives of North, Central, South America, man. There's a different style and swag that we carry that no one else on this earth carries, man. You understand? There's something that we have within us, even within our lowest state, even within the crime and the drugs and the destroyed communities that we come from. There's something special about us, man. There's something special that all the heathens around about us can see, and they copy us and they envy us. Wherever tribe we come from, they envy us, man. Everything that we do, man. You understand? And this is the thing. It is no coincidence. There's no secret in it. It's no accident that we are those 12 tribes. It's no accident that the elders of the Most High that were sent, you understand, and the forged the I.S.U.P.K, those men that came with the Spirit of the Lord and those revealed the secrets. There's no secret that those people were something, man. Even in the world, brothers and sisters understood that, listen, man, we're different. Everyone else copies us. You understand? Just remember that. The Arabs got all the money. Mm-hmm. The Caucasians got all the money. They got all the power and the money and the military might. You know what I mean? They got all the land. They got all the best stuff. Everyone around us, man. All the Asians, the Africans, every nation around about us has something that we don't, and they thrive. You know what I'm saying? They do very well. But then we are even in the midst of our lowest state, we are still envied of them. We are still greater than all of them. You understand? And we have been given that special secret because this is who we are, and that's why we must come back to our heritage and our way. Because we have fallen from that. And we have chosen to love the oppressor and hate our brothers. You understand? We have chosen to give our compassion to whom does not deserve compassion. We've forsaken our brothers and the Most High, and we have loved the lust of this world, man. That's what we have turned to. So lucky though, if you get that, Brother Kashar.
Leviticus 19:17. Mm-hmm. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
This is law in Israel, man. This is a law. You understand? This is a law and a statute. You understand? That we should love our brothers. You understand? We should love our brothers, and we should not. So read that again, so I can read that bit again. Same bit, right?
Leviticus 19:17.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt in Leviticus 19 verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Mm-hmm. Meaning in our heart, meaning our minds. The Christian church will teach you philosophy and teach you fairy tales, but you don't have thoughts within your heart. The heart is an organ that pumps blood throughout your body. You understand? It doesn't have thoughts, man. That's just mystical nonsense and childish nonsense at that. You understand? The heart that it's referring to is the mind. We should not have any bearing any hatred towards any of our brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? Within Israel, within Yasharallah, man. We should have that compassion and give them that level of mercy and compassion, because they come from our own. You understand? And especially over here in the UK, where we are scattered and overrun by heathens, man. You understand? We should remember that. Listen, we are a special people, and that we are that gold. That you know what I mean. We're the Most High's gold, man. And we are to go reach out and find that gold and then put it into that furnace, man, so that they can come through and be clean as they once were. You understand? But we have to remember that many of our brothers and sisters are damaged, man. They are gold, but they have been tarnished with dirt and other elements and other alloys and rocks. You understand? And they are filthy, man. You can barely see the gold because they're so corrupted and so covered in dirt and soil, you know what I'm saying? And other rocks and other metals. But those of us in the truth, understanding who we are and where we come from, we must show them the light, you understand? We must show them the law and their heritage so that they can be that pure gold once again, you understand? But understand that we have to remember that, listen, man, we cannot hate our brothers within our hearts, man, within our minds. We can't think evil of our brothers and sisters. In the truth, obviously, you understand. But in the world, you got to remember that brothers and sisters in the world are corrupted, and they need that medicine, which is the law. They need that medicine, which can only help them and only serve them well enough if they are worthy of it. You understand? But we must remember that in all things, man. We can't have that hatred within our heart. That sister, you know what I mean? Sisters bickering and fighting each other and arguing about silly things, man. All of that needs to die, man. You understand? When you come in the truth, you're supposed to come as a new person. You understand? When you come in the truth, you come and reform yourself. You understand? And when you come in the truth, that old person, that old man or woman, you understand? That person is dead. You know what I mean? The same thought and mind and actions that used to take place back in the world, that person is dead, man. We have died to come back to restore ourselves to who we are today in this truth. You understand? And we have to remember that in all things, man, that in the mind, we cannot hate our brothers. Even no matter how great an offense it may be or how little or ridiculous it may be, because more time within our community, blacks, Hispanics, listen, man, you be killing your brothers. You'd be rushing them, you know what I mean? You'd be attacking them on road, drive-bys, all the rest of it. And it's most of the time it's for nothing. You know what I mean? Because the brother looked at you a funny way or something stupid that really isn't anything. And that's something we have to analyze as a people. As a people, we need to remember that we have to have compassion to our brothers and have sense behind it too. Like, we have to know, listen, this is our nation. This is who we are. You know what I mean? Now, of course, understand this. Not everyone is going to understand the truth. There are many heretics and cowards and sellouts out there who are cowards and will be, you know what I mean? The Lord will have his judgment, but we have to still remain righteous, and we have to not have that hatred within the heart, within the mind, man. You understand? Read on.
But of course, that Salakia, thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
So you understand that the rebuke means to correct. You know what I mean? You see your brothers and sisters in a way in a state of sin or uncleanness. We cannot allow them to suffer that sin, man. That's why in the UPK we go out and then treating it like in the streets, and we teach the truth of this Bible, man. We show our people who they are and show them their transgressions. You understand? Show them their fault. You know what I mean? But you understand, we have to remember that in all things, man. This is a people that we come from, man. We come from a people where, you know, if someone's wrong within the community, they were corrected. It was law. You know what I mean? It is statute and law within us, man. That's who we are. We are to have a perfected nation and a righteous nation, man. And if any of our, you know what I mean, even if, like, let's just say, like, for example, in the truth, right? You have brothers and sisters with their kids, right? And even if a child's not yours, you still correct them, you still help them out, because that's within us, man. We're family, you understand? and we cannot allow ourselves to be, compromised and forsake one another, man. We have to correct one another. You can't allow our brothers to, continue to sell drugs and not try to reach out to them. You understand, and try to do something. Listen, man, we have to rebuke our neighbors, man. Righteously so, of course. You know what I mean. Sometimes they need the hard, harsh words. Sometimes they just need a little bit of a reason and a talk. But all things have its time and its respectable meaning. You know what I'm saying? Everything has have a relevant action towards that. It's like a relevant response to the action regarding the people. But we are to rebuke our neighbors, man, to correct them, man, but righteously so. So, like, read on.
Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
So, of thy people, you understand? Now we understand who we are talking about, man. The children of thy people. That's the context of the scriptures, man. You understand? To understand that we're talking about the children of your people. Listen, man. You don't bear a grudge against your brothers and sisters, man. Even if they be wicked and they choose a wicked life, you still don't bear a grudge against them. You don't have any. You should try to avenge and try to get them back. You know what I mean? Many of brothers in the world will do things and they don't have any sense of understanding. They're too broken and weak. But you know what I mean? Those of us in the truth know better. We know that. Listen, man. No brothers that I deal with, no matter how it may be. Listen, man. We're gonna defend ourselves. We're not gonna allow anybody to do us nothing, you know what I mean, without any response. But understand this: we don't bear grudges in the UPK. We don't think of revenge or trying to get a brother back or a sister back. We don't do that, man. We look forward to how things can be resolved righteously so, and how we can look forward to justice rather than further sin. You understand? Rather than further destruction, because this is what happens in the community. Grudges are formed based on whether it be a small thing or a great thing. And grudges are formed and vengeance is taken. And it was a knock-on effect because, for example, one brother comes from this ends, right? And he kills another brother from the next ends, right? And then that brother, his younger brother or his cousin, you know what I mean, wants to avenge his brother. So then he goes and kills that brother. Then that brother who died, his brother comes back and kills him. And then, you know what I mean, his homeboy from them ends comes back and kills him, and then it's just a back and forth. You understand? And sometimes that can be for generations of an entire family. You know what I mean? You got cousins and cousins and cousins that have died from gang violence. You know what I mean? And that's based on having vengeance and hatred for one another. You know what I mean? Now seeking justice is fine. You know what I mean? In the kingdom to come, justice will be served and righteously so. We don't have to worry about corrupt police who are unclean and heathens. You understand? We don't have to worry about that. Justice will be throughout the land, throughout the entire earth. You understand? And will be enforced by Israel, YAHANNA. But we live in an unjust and wicked kingdom, so we must find justice and strength and honor in all things that we do. But we can seek justice in a way that we don't have to bear a grudge or have vengeance upon our brothers, man. Nah, man. Vengeance, for example, in the Bible, you understand, if you kill your brother, right? You know what I mean? And back in times of old, you understand, you killed a man or a woman, your blood was required. You understand? Your blood is required. You will have to die. And that will be it. It'll be end there because that was justice. That wasn't revenge. That was justice that was served. You understand? Today in this time, we still look for justice. You know what I mean? But we don't look for revenge. It's different. We look to the laws of whatever kingdom we dwell in, and however the justice system works there, that's how we will sort it out. You understand? But we still look to seek righteousness in all that we do, and that we are purified. We're not corrupted by whatever happens carnally. You know what I mean? We look towards a righteous resolve. You understand? So so we are not to avenge nor bear any grudge. Not bearing a grudge, man. Among blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, men and women, bearing a grudge for foolishness has always been the wave in our communities, man. Bearing that grudge is so vile and it will corrupt you. You know why? Because this thing will be so small and be literally nothing. But yet over time, over days and over nights and over all manners of months and maybe even years, that grudge will form into something that is diabolical, and you know, you look back and you don't even know why you have that hatred for that brother or sister. You know what I mean? Because it has been allowed to fester and grow within you, and then you've ended up being defiled. You understand? You end up being defiled, and then that hatred consumes you, man. And then there is nothing, like, you don't even know why you hate it. You just hate that sister or brother because literally you don't even know no more. You're just like, listen, I hate that mother effer. You know what I mean? He this, he that, he ain't about nothing, this and that. And you know, people will try and ask you like, why? What do he do to you? You know what I mean? And you know, you can't even give a proper response because you've allowed that hatred to corrupt you and cloud you, where all you can see is red, all you can see is blood. You know what I mean? You can't see resolve or, you know, trying to, you can't see reason. You know what I mean? It's just pure hatred. That's why we mustn't bear a grudge, because it would defile us, man. You understand? It would defile us, and the Lord said that we must be a righteous nation, man. We must be His priests and prophets, and His men, His military might. You understand, on this earth to do what is right. You understand? So like, read on.
If I could, sir.
Go ahead.
Just to add to that heavy point that you just made there, you know, when you're talking about not holding grudges
Right.
against our brothers, right? Now, what I've noticed is bitches, Salakia, I don't want, excuse my language, but bitches hold grudges. You understand?
That's right.
You know, they hold grudges against men. You understand? Unforgiving heart. You understand?
Right.
And the Lord has said, Salaki, just to add to your point there, just quickly, briefly, sir, is the Lord said in the Bible that we got, if we love Him, we'll obey His commandments, and this is a commandment, not to you know, hold a grudge against thy brother. And if you love the Lord, if anyone loved the Lord out there, just to add to that point, so I'm going to finish. If anyone loved the Lord, they wouldn't hold a grudge. That's what He said to do.
I'm right.
To that.
No, that's right, man. That's a heavy point, man. You know what I mean? If you love the Lord, and you know what I mean, if you truly, like I read earlier, Mark, you understand? If you love the Most High, you have to love your brother. You know what I mean? There's no two ways about it. There's only one way. You know what I mean? There's only one way to serve the Most High, and to be, there's only one way to be righteous, and there's no in between. There's no on the fence, or there's no It's just you're righteous or you're wicked. It's as simple as that. You pick a side, you know what I mean? You pick a side when you decide what you do with your thoughts, your mind, and your action. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you could read them book, Kashar.
Go on, sir. Shall I take it from the top again?
Just from the end of 17, Bob Kashar.
It's 18 with another one.
Okay, yeah, read that one, Kashar. Read that again, Slaki.
Come on. But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
There you go, man. You understand? We shall love our neighbors as ourselves, man. That's who our neighbors are. Our neighbors is the children of thy people. That's who your neighbor is, man. You understand? That's clear cut. That's in the Bible. Not no philosophy, no religion, no witchcraft on your brain. Nah, man. The love of the Most High is to love your people and to love Him and serve Him according to what is written, according to His records and according to the words and the statutes of the men that He appointed. You understand? So like, if you get me, 2 John chapter 1 and verse 4, Bokisha.
2 John, what's the lucky one?
2 John verse 4.
Oh,
it's like one chapter in it, so yeah. So one and 4, but 4, you know what I mean?
I can't say. 2 John 1 verse 4. I rejoice greatly that I found of thy children walking in truth, as we have received a commandment from the Father.
So lucky, if you read that again, Bob Kishar.
I can't say. 2 John 1:4. I rejoice greatly that I found of thy children walking in truth.
There you go, man. You rejoice greatly, you understand? And you found children walking in truth, meaning keeping the law, man, walking in the righteous path that is given unto the children of Israel. That is a glorious thing, man. You understand? So like, you read on.
As we have received our commandments from the Father.
Read on.
Quran answer. And now I beseech thee, lady, not as though I have wrote a new commandment unto thee, but that which we had from the beginning, that we love one another.
There you go, man. That's in the New Testament, you understand? And that is him, you know what I mean? 'Cause remember in this time when this was being done, right? What did he have in his hand, man? He had the first five books, man. He had the Torah and the Apocrypha, you understand? He didn't have no New Testament. There was no John in that time, man. That was being written at that time. And that's what he's referring to, Leviticus 19, man. Loving our people, man. Having that love for your neighbors, man. And keeping to the statutes and the laws that was written aforetime. That's what he's referring to.
Right.
Don't let the Christian church fool you, that nonsense, man. It makes no damn sense. You understand? Because if the laws and the commandments are not to be fulfilled and not to be kept by men and women today, you understand, then what's all this then about homosexuality and killing and drugs and murder and eating and what's all that? That's all the law, man. You understand? And this is the reality that the falsehood of Christianity will deceive you and can bamboozle your mind. This confusion and foolishness. You understand? And this is the thing. The Bible is about laws and commandments for a nation of people that was chosen. A chosen nation of people who fit and line up with the prophecies of them in the latter days. Which is only the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You understand? And we must remember that it is a delight, it is a glorious thing to see our young sons and daughters keeping to the truth, keeping to the laws of the Bible and the statutes which was given unto their forefathers. We have to remember what was given to us aforetime, loving our neighbors, loving our brothers and sisters who come from the same tribes and peoples as we are from. Salakia, read on.
And this is love, that we walk after his commandments.
There you go, man. That's the love that it's referring to, man. That's the only love the Bible is referring to, man. Is the keeping of the laws, statutes, and commandments in this book. You understand? This is given unto our laws and our heritage, man. This is what we must keep as a people, wherever we may be dwelling. This is our customs and our ways that we must follow. You understand? Salakia, read on. What verse you in?
6.
Read that, Bokasha.
This is the commandment, that as ye have heard from the beginning, ye should walk in it.
So there you go, man. As ye have heard in the beginning, walk in it, man. Saying the same thing, you understand? It's saying the same thing because this is where it came from, the beginning, man. From the Genesis all the way down to Deuteronomy, Leviticus, all throughout the Bible, man. That's where we heard it, man. From our elders, our forefathers, man. That's what it was given unto us, man. By men appointed of the Most High to teach the people what we are to do in these latter days, in these days that to come and the days that are here now, and the days of before time. This is what we as a people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are the Israelites according to the Bible. This is what we must come to, man. Is that it on that?
Concept.
Okay, no sweat. So like if you drop that, yeah, and you get me 1 Samuel chapter 18 and verse 1, Balkishar. Because we're gonna go into the Bible about, I've done this before, but I'm gonna go again because we're gonna go into the Bible about how Jonathan and David, you understand, that brotherly love, man. You understand? And we're gonna go into the Bible and we're gonna break it down and we're gonna touch on that because that is, this is an example of brotherhood. This is an example of, when Israel was in its rule, in its kingdom, and even though there was wickedness among them, there was still strength in righteousness that brotherhood can have an entire nation restore itself. You understand? Yeah, when you get it, yeah.
1 Samuel 18, verse 1. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David and Jonathan.
The soul. Slakia, the soul, yeah?
The soul, Slakia.
Yeah, no sweat.
That the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David. and Jonathan loved him as his own soul.
There you go, man. So the soul of Jonathan and the soul of David were knit together, man. You understand? They were brothers, man. They were one accord, man. And they had that strength in brotherhood, man. You understand? That strength in brotherhood because they were raised, they were together, man. You understand? And they were coming, came up together. You understand? And they were like good brothers. You understand? Good friends, man. That brotherhood that was strong within them, man. You understand? Read on.
And Saul took him in that day and would let him go no more home to his father's house.
So this is talking about David. You understand? He was brought in to the house of King Saul at that time, and he was basically like adopted in. You know what I mean? Brought in and looked after and well fed. He's a King Saul at this time. You know what I mean? He's wealthy, and David is good friends and you know what I mean, a strong bond with his brother, his son Salakia. You know what I mean? And he brought him in. You know what I mean? Read on.
Then Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul.
Mm-hmm. So they made a covenant, meaning what? The covenant is like, well, covenant is an agreement, you understand? And they were brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like how with God, you know what I mean? They have something called blood brothers, you understand? Well, that's like how they were, man. They were brothers, man. They were, you know what I mean? They were one accord, man. They were unified in strength, you know what I mean? So I can read on.
And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him and gave it to David and his garment, even to his sword and to his bow and to his girdle.
So there you go. So Jonathan, being the prince in Israel at that time, and he being wealthy and having the riches and greatness, showing so much compassion unto David, who come from a family of sheep herders. You understand? Not very wealthy. You know what I mean? But his brother, he had so much brotherhood for him that he gave him his jacket, he gave him his sword, his girdle. You know what I mean? Gave him some nice clothes. You know, looked after him. You understand? Gave him his bow, bow and arrow. You understand? Read on.
And David went out whithersoever Saul sent him.
So there you go. So David, you understand? He went out, you understand? And he followed the command of King Saul, you understand? Wherever he sent him to battle or wherever he sent him to go, he followed orders, you understand? Read on.
And behaved himself wisely.
So he behaved himself wisely, you understand? He made sure he was on point. He made sure he was without fault. He made sure he was, you know what I mean? He tried to be as wise as possible, follow his orders and do what's right. And don't, you know what I mean? Don't get into no foolishness. Just do what he's supposed to do. I mean, read on.
And Saul set him over the men of war, and he was accepted in the sight of all the people.
So there you go, man. He was set above the men of war. You understand? Set above the military. You understand? He was higher ranking in the military. Put him over the men of war. You understand? Read on.
And he was accepted in the sight of all people, and also in the sight of Saul's servants.
So he was accepted. So you know what I mean? He was accepted because he moved wisely, you know what I'm saying? Because he was a man of war. He was accepted because the people around about Saul and in the nation, they understood that the Lord was with this man. He was righteous in how he conducted himself and he followed orders. You know what I mean? He was blameless. Everybody saw that in him. Everyone saw the Lord is with him, man. You understand? Yeah, read on. What verse was that, Salakin?
That was verse 5. Now going into verse 6.
Can't. Read on, Babusha.
And it came to pass as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, that the women came out of all the cities of Israel, singing and dancing to meet.
So Salaki, if I could, right, understand that David was a mighty warrior. You understand? He's a man of renown within war. You understand? He was known within Israel. And imagine the kingdom how in this righteous state would be. Women know that listen, man, a man can have as much wives as he can handle as he wants, man. You understand? And those sisters within the community. Now imagine sisters now, man. Imagine how talented and great and bad they are, man. You know what I mean? How great they are, man. And how the Lord has blessed them with such greatness, with singing, you know what I mean? With, you know what I mean? They're built great, you know what I mean? Built well and perfect, you understand? Imagine how our sisters were, you know what I mean? How they were in the kingdom, how they were singing and praising, you know what I mean, and making, you know what I mean, making celebrations for when the men of war came back from battle. You understand? And if you read on,
that the women came out of all the cities of Israel, singing and dancing to meet King Saul.
There you go, man. Read on.
With tabrets, with joy, and with instruments of music.
There you go, man. Instruments of music. There you go. So they're coming and making a whole parade and singing. And you know, our sisters are the best women on the planet to be singing, man. You know what I mean? When it comes to music, man, our sisters are the best women on the planet. When it comes to all kinds of music on this earth, Black, Hispanic, and Native American women are the best at it, man. No matter what type of music it is. You know what I mean? You could imagine how that sounded when men come back and come into the city, wherever it may be, you understand? And everybody's praising and singing, you know what I mean? And happy glory that they've returned from battle, you know what I'm saying? Read on.
And the women answered one another as they played and said, Saul have slain his thousands, and David his 10,000.
Read on.
And Saul was very rough.
So he was rough. He was angry because he's like, listen, man, they're singing and they're praising everybody, but he's noticed that, listen, he got 1,000. He got his 1,000. You know what I mean? He did something. He got his 1,000, but David got his 10,000, man. David was slaughtering them heathens, man. You understand? He was slaughtering the hell out of them heathens, and everybody knew it. Everybody knew, the men of war, the men of counsel, everybody in power, everybody knew. Listen, that David was the man he was the champion, man. He was, you know what I'm saying? He was the champion of Israel at that time, man. You understand? He was the baddest mother effer there was. You know what I'm saying? So read on.
And he said, they have ascribed unto David 10,000. And to me, they have ascribed thousands.
Go ahead.
And what can he have more but the kingdom?
You go ahead.
And Saul eyed David from that day and forward.
So basically, Saul's like, listen, man, what could he have more, man? What do he want? The kingdom? What is he gonna rule? You know what I'm saying? And from that day, he had a jealous eye to his brother, man. You know what I mean? He's watching David, and remember, David moved wisely. He wasn't doing nothing unlawful. He wasn't doing nothing right. He followed orders. You understand? Remember, David took orders from Saul. Saul is the king of Israel. You know what I mean? And David being a great warrior, you know what I mean? A great warrior under the command of King Saul, but yet King Saul is jealous of him. That's vile, man. You understand? That's a vile thing. That is a vile thing because David is only the arm of Saul, and he could not understand nor comprehend that one of your men being powerful and mighty as he is and righteous should be is a blessing unto you. You understand? But when you bear a grudge and you have that jealousy towards your brother, you understand? Like I said before, it will defile him. We're gonna read on and we're gonna see how it grew inside him. So read on.
Verse 10. And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit from God came upon Saul. And he prophesied in the midst of the house. And David played with his hand as at other times.
So there you go, man. Understand this. So remember, the evil spirit of the Lord came onto Saul, man. An evil spirit from the Lord came onto Saul. Now, just to clarify, you know, the Lord does not tempt anyone. The Lord ain't tempting nobody. He ain't doing that. He ain't putting evil on no man, because what Christians like to say is that, what they will end up saying is that, you know, the Lord put the evil spirit on him. So that means that, you know, when someone's doing wicked or eating unclean food, that means it's God, nothing I can do about it. No, that's not what it's talking about, man. You understand? Understand that when the Lord, just like how the Most High created the heavens and the earth and all that is, right? He had beings taking orders and doing His will. You understand? Just like how the Lord created everything, it was the Elohim, the angels. If you read the Genesis in the Hebrew, Elohim, that's the powers that's talked about. It's a different level of power, and that power is the angels, man. Those powers are the ones that forged the earth. They did the work. You understand? He gives the command. Well, when the same way that is the same way like how Satan, man. Satan has given command. His command from the Lord, and his duty is to tempt people. You understand? There's no battle between Satan and the Most High. There's none of that bull BS. That's some fairy tale nonsense, man. You understand? That's Greek mythology and other nonsense that is not in the Bible. The Satan is the hand of the Most High, just like all the other angels are the hand of the Most High. And Satan and his angels, they tempt men. Now, when men are tempted, they're not tempted based on something that is random and it does nothing to do with them. They are tempted based on their demons, something that plagues them, something that they listen to in their ears and their thoughts and their heart and their mind. You understand? And that's something that they have they're weak to. Every man, woman, and child has something that they are weak to. That's something that the Lord will send Satan, and Satan will send his demons, you understand, to tempt a man. And that is what it's referring to. When it's talking about evil spirit of the Lord, it's a spirit referring to he fell into the temptation. He fell into what he was weak to. He fell into his temptation or his weakness, that was the sin of bearing a grudge. You understand? Bearing a grudge and being jealous. That sin of that spirit of jealousy that was already in him to do, that he was already weak to or prone to be doing. Well, all that Satan would have done is tempted him. You understand? He would have been tempted and he fell into it. Satan's going to tempt you based on what you will suffer with. You understand? Or what plagues you. It's not going to just, you know what I mean? It's not like the Lord just, it's not like that. You understand? But read on, Bob Kishar.
Okay, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. God sending that spirit to him wasn't, correct me if I'm right, right. It wasn't for Saul to fail that spirit being sent to him. It was
right.
It was to fight that, right? Other one.
Right, that's exactly it. But because the evil spirit from the Lord came unto Saul, he succumbed to it because he was already weak. He was already prone. Remember, it said from the day he was watching, from that day when he heard the songs of the sisters in the cities and the streets, he heard that song, and from there he's watching him. Well, that's him being jealous, and then it grew within him. So over time, it defiled him, like we went into earlier. Over time, that spirit and that mindset of weakness and jealousy had in him, and then it formed into what it was. And it was no different. And that was the spirit that's referring to. It was him already falling into that path. You understand? And all it would took is Satan to just say one little thing in his ear or put something into him, and he just bite it and take it, and then that was it. That's the evil spirit. That's right. You know what I'm saying? That's the evil spirit of the Lord. You know what I mean?
Okay, so
go ahead.
That like our brothers stepping on our toes, right? And all of a sudden we're getting into our emotions and want to kill our brother for stepping on our toes.
There you go. That could be one example of it. You understand? That could be an example. Like, for example, you may suffer with anger, or you have a quick temper, you have a short temper, so it's like it. You know what I mean? And then you put in a position where you're tempted to do something that would provoke your anger. That's your weakness, right? And you put in a position where Satan is going to tempt you with that. That's you being tempted. Now you could say, "Oh, slack it, brother. You know what I mean? Let me buy you a drink, man. No sweat, man. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing, man. It's nothing. Just shoes, man. I can clean it every day. Ain't nothing, man. You know what I mean?" Or you could go like this, wow, and then he's on the floor, and then Satan's won. He's happy. You know what I mean? He's like, "Yeah, I did my job." You understand? That's a good example. That's right. You know what I mean?
Concept.
So yeah, man. You know what I mean? So that's exactly what it was. When it's referring to when it's talking about an evil spirit from the Lord. But so like, if you read on from there, Baba Kishar.
Concept, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
And Saul cast the javelin, for he said, "I will smite David even to the wall with it."
So there you go. So David was playing the harp, right? If you read up back in Samuel, you find out that David plays with his hands. He's playing the harp, playing the instrument, right? And literally, you know, Saul is like, he's throwing a spear. Javelin is a spear, it's the same thing, you know what I mean? And he's throwing a spear, and he's like, even with the spear, so he's saying he's gonna throw a spear, right? And it's gonna connect into David and hit the wall. So even to the wall with David, it would like really kill him, basically. That's what he wanted to do. You know what I mean? That's the hatred that is built within him, that has corrupted him and defiled him. Read on.
And David avoided out of his presence twice.
So there you go. So David evaded him. He evaded the javelin, the spear, twice. You understand? On 2 occasions. Read on.
Verse 12. And Saul was afraid of David because the Lord was with him.
So there you go, man. Over time and him being corrupted. And remember, just understand and let me paint the picture. In Israel, man, in the kingdom, you know what I mean? He's ruling over Israel. He's a king in Israel. In Israel, it is law. The laws and commandments that you read out of this Bible, that was law of the land of Israel, laws of wherever we dwell, that we ruled over. That was the law. So he, as the king, has his advisors and everything, and being raised up in the law, he knows what the law is. And so him knowing that, him seeing his own ways and his own corruption, but being too far gone, him seeing that he can know if a man is righteous. He can see it by his actions and his deeds. And he can know within himself if he's unrighteous. Every man, woman, and child will be able to know based on their deeds and their thoughts and what they do. And if you know the law, you can understand that you know if he's right. So he knew himself that he was unrighteous. Him being the king of Israel, he knew subconsciously that he's unrighteous. And knowing that, he can also know that this man is righteous. And he hated him. He feared him. Because he also knows one thing as well. He also knows that if the Lord is with you, nothing can stand against you. Right. That's what Saul knew that day. He knew that. That's why he feared him. Because he knew that the Lord was with him and nothing can touch him. My hatred cannot offend him. It can't do anything to him. You understand? My hatred would only inevitably end with my destruction. That's what Saul knew. That's why he had that fear. Because he knew that, listen, with all that envy and all that wickedness, and me trying to kill him and me hating him and trying to bear a grudge against him for nothing, he didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? And the Bible says not to hate that brother without a cause. Well, this is what Saul was doing. The brother didn't do nothing to him, man. He just hating him because he's better than him, basically. You know what I mean? He's better than him at war. But that's all it was. And that hatred grew, like I said before. You know what I mean? That hatred grew within him, and he understood that David was righteous. And knowing who he was and how he felt to David, he had to have that fear, man. And that's for those in the world. They know who the Lord is with, man. They know, Duppy know who to fight. You know what I mean? Duppy know how to fight, man. You understand? They know who to mess with. That's why them other groups and camps, that's what they get certain things that happen to them at their little camp, right? Their little, unauthorized camp that they may make. There's certain things that happen to them that cannot proceed into the UPK. Because the Lord, everything knows what the Lord is with, man. If the Lord is with you, man, that thing can't touch you. You understand? So like it though. Read on.
So like the one, if I could.
Go ahead.
And am I right in saying the reason why the Lord departed from Saul, was it back because he disobeyed when he was supposed to kill everything, and he disobeyed the Most High.
That's right. Damn right. That's right, man. He you understand? He was just disobedient. You know what I mean? Samuel, the prophet Samuel, you know what I'm saying, told King Saul what the Lord had commanded him to do. And he was commanded that every man, woman, and child and beast of the Amalekites was to be slaughtered. Everything. Every cat, every dog, everything, man. Every bird, everything that was alive and living in that little city or village. He was commanded to destroy it. And because of that disobedience, that's where it's trickled down and started. That's where it all began with Saul. That's where he started to go downhill. Sure. Because the Lord left him at that day because he did not follow the command of the Most High. You know what I mean? Through his prophet Samuel, you understand? Well, yeah, that's right, you understand? So if you read on from there, Bob Kishore?
So like you said, if I could, please, if I could.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just to add this other bit to it as well, if I could. Would it be right in saying if you do hold a grudge against your brother, the Lord could take his spirit away from you, right?
That's right.
straight, right?
That's right, straight up. That's exactly what happened to Saul. That's right. You know what I mean? Like the Lord has given us mercy in this time, man. You understand? The Lord has given us our King Yahushua Mashiach. You understand? To give us that level of mercy that we can. Maybe we had a grudge at one time, but then we got over it. We moved forward, and we can repair ourselves. But we have to remember that. Listen, man, mercy and grace is only for a time. You know what I mean? It's only for a time when the Lord gets fed up with it and it gets too far. That's what we have to remember. But yeah, you're right. That's right. You know what I mean? Was that on that though? You got
No, sir. What?
no, sir. Was it first? I think it's verse 12.
12 I'm on now, sir.
Come.
And Saul was afraid of David because the Lord was with him and was departed from Saul.
That's right. Go ahead.
13. Therefore, Saul removed him from him and made him his captain. Slakia. Therefore, Saul removed him from him and made him his captain over 1,000. And he went out.
So Salaka, he when he says you removed him, meaning he's given him rank. He's increased his rank. He put oil on his head, and you know what I mean. He's been up ranked. You know what I mean. He's been given rank, and he has been promoted, as it was. You understand? And he's been given command over 1,000 of men, and obviously, when you're given that level of rank, you have to do more in the line of war, and that's what David was commanded to do. So that's why it says removed from him. The reason why he'll be removed because he's gonna have to go on the front line with those with 1,000 men at his side. You know what I mean? So I can read on.
And he went out and came in before the people. And David behaved himself wisely in all his ways.
There you go, man. So he, like he said, you know what I mean? Like I said, you know what I mean? He behaved wisely, like I said before. You know what I mean? He went to battle with 1,000 men. Saul, because the Lord was with him, he just wanted away from him because he's scared of him, like it said, right? But he took his 1,000 warriors, went to battle and came back. He didn't die in battle on the front line. He fought and slaughtered his enemies and came back and did his duty. When he come back, he was wise because he knew that Saul hated him. So he moved wisely, you know what I mean? He just tried to do what he's thinking that, listen, man, I'm just gonna do what I'm told, and maybe, you know what I mean, he'll just leave me alone. He'll just, because I'm doing as his command, I'm doing his will. You know what I mean? I'm following his orders. So why would he then still want to hate me? So that's why he's moving wisely, because he's saying he's trying to be blameless, man. And that's what we got to be. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we have to move blameless, man. Be wise. When you're yet your slave with your enemies, you know what I mean, you're round about them. You be wise. Don't say that the devil. You know what I mean? You just do your job and you go home. You just be blameless to the best of your ability. You know what I mean? Try to get there on time and you go home. That's what moving wisely is, man. You're not gonna try be all up in there and have some arms out. No, man. You're just gonna try to do your thing and go home. That's what basically what David was doing. So like, read on.
And the Lord was with him. Wherefore, when Saul saw that he behaved himself very wisely, he was afraid of him.
There you go, man. Because he saw that this man, not only is the Lord with him, but he is being blameless. Like there's nothing I can get on him. There's nothing you can say that he's this, he's that. There's nothing you can do. You can't find any fault within him to give him a reason to further hate him. He doesn't. You know what I mean? David is not giving him any reason to talk mess about him or to say nothing or to justify his wickedness. It will just remain as you're unrighteous and wicked. And this brother is just righteous, and he ain't. There's nothing you have on him. He ain't done nothing wrong. That's what he saw. That's why he's fearful, because he knows what the Lord is about. He knows the wrath of the Most High, and he knows the Most High power of Israel. And the Most High power is not one to play with, man. You know what I mean? Right. He knew that. Listen, man, I'm in problems, bro. Because man, listen, he ain't doing nothing wrong. He's doing what I tell him, and he's moving wisely. He ain't making no mistakes. He ain't doing nothing wrong. He's righteous. There's nothing you can't have nothing on him, and there's nothing to justify his hatred and envy on the brother. There's nothing to justify it, man. You know what I mean? Read on.
But all Israel and Judah loved David.
There you go, man. All Israel loved him, man, because they saw the Lord with him, and they saw that he was bringing victories unto Israel, and he was a man of renown, and rightfully so, because he earned by his deeds. he's earned that level of praise from the people. You know what I mean? Read on.
Because he went out and came in before them. And Saul said to David, behold, my elder daughter, Miriam, her will I give thee to wife.
Mm-hmm.
Only be thou valiant for me, and fight the Lord's battles. For Saul said, let not my hand be upon him,
Mm-hmm.
but let the hand of the Philistines be upon him.
So there you go. So now he's trying to craft something. He's trying to get him more jammed up. You know what I mean? He's trying to get him caught up and caught off guard and you know what I mean, caught slipping. You know what I mean? He's trying to say, listen, man, he knows he can't kill him because if he kills him, he's done. He's done out here. But he's like, listen, man, I'm gonna have the Philistines kill him. Have our enemies kill him, man. That's what he's gonna try to do. He's gonna try to be like, let them Hamites kill him, man. You know what I mean? So he's gonna put him. So he's giving him. The only reason he's giving him his daughter is because he's being deceptive. It may seem like, oh, okay, he's being cool now. He's all right. He's trying to reward me for my great deeds, but no, he's just trying to find a way to get you jammed up. He thinks that, somewhat down the line you're gonna get slain in battle. That's what he believes, and that's his plan. You know what I mean? So read on.
And David said unto Saul, who am I? And what is my life or my father's family in Israel, that I should be the son-in-law to the king?
So there you go. So he's like, who am I? Basically, he's like, because everyone knows that, listen, man, he's a king and his daughter is a princess, right? And they're literally the royal family. They're the highest house within Israel at that time. Literally, it's like, well, who am I? I come from a family of, I ain't come from great stock like that. Well, he does, but you know what I mean. He ain't from that higher level. He ain't from that wealthy, famous line of well renowned people. He's from a family of just sheep herders and so farmers basically. You understand? He ain't from no rich, famous, powerful family. That's what he means when he says that. But read on.
But it came to pass at the time when Miriam, Saul's daughter, should have been given to David, that she was given unto Adriel, the Maholiite.
So the time came that he was supposed to receive that his rib, you know what I mean, from the daughter of Salakia. He's supposed to receive the daughter of Saul as his rib, you know what I mean, and it didn't happen. It came to pass that she was given unto someone else. You know what I mean? Read on.
And Michal, Saul's daughter, loved David. Or Michal.
Michal, yeah, Michal.
And Michal, Saul's daughter, loved David. And they told Saul, and the thing pleased him. And Saul said, I will give him her, that she may be a snare to him.
So there you go. So this is where he's trying to set this trap, this snare. You understand? And in doing so, we're gonna find out. But look, the first daughter he promised didn't get. So like he promised his first daughter to David, didn't get him. So didn't get her. You know what I mean? And now because Miriam, what's her name? Michal, right? Michal. You know what I mean? She right? She loved David and she was fond of him. And so now in Saul's mind, his daughter don't think, she ain't thinking wickedly. She actually likes David. She's attracted to David. She thinks she wants to be his rib, you know what I mean? Or one of his many ribs, you understand? Literally, Saul is like, he's conjured up a plan. He's like, okay, I can use this to my advantage. That's what he's doing. You know what I mean? He's scheming against his brother. You know what I mean? Read on.
And that the hand of the Philistine may be against him.
So there you go. So now he's got an opportunity to try to, in some way, form, or fashion, allow him to be on the battlefield and die You know what I mean? In some way, because he's just trying to have him killed, basically. You know what I mean? Read on.
Wherefore Saul said to David, thou shalt this day be my son-in-law
Mm-hmm.
in the one of the twain. And Saul commanded his servants, saying, commune with David secretly, and say, behold, the king have delight in thee, and
Mm-hmm.
all his servants love thee. Now
So,
therefore,
what verse you in?
like verse 22 of the one.
Oh, so yeah, we kind of. All right, let's drop that. Yeah, let's try to jump ahead. Let's go to chapter 19 and verse 1, Bob Kashar. Yeah. Yeah.
So, 1 Samuel 19, verse 1. And Saul spake to Jonathan, his son, and to all his servants, that they should kill David.
Mm-hmm.
But Jonathan, Saul's son, delighted much in David. And Jonathan told David, saying, Saul, my father seeketh to kill thee.
So there you go. So now we've jumped ahead now because it's a lot of stuff. But what we up with, so for time's sake, you know what I mean. Saul tried to get David, killed. Tried to put him on the front line. Gave him what he thought to be impossible tasks, but they weren't impossible for David because the Lord is with him and he's a mighty warrior. You understand? And basically, he eventually got a rib. He got one of Saul's daughters because he's just doing what he's commanded to do. And right now, it's got to the point where that hatred, that grudge that was bared in Saul grew into something even more. Now he's outright trying to kill him. Now he's up now because before he was trying to scheme and do some secret stuff, but now he's actually openly no, I'm going to try to kill this cat. You know what I mean? He ain't trying to hide it or conceal it, nothing. He's just trying to kill him. And literally, his son. Remember, reading back. And this is the brotherhood aspect. Remember, they made a covenant, man. Jonathan and David, they are brothers, man. They are like blood brothers, you understand? They are close and tightly knit. You know what I mean? One accord. And that brotherhood, even in the midst of his father, the king of Israel, even in the midst of him conspiring to kill him and telling him that he should kill him, right? He still stood strong for his brother. He still had that brother to be like, nah, man, I can't leave him. I can't forsake my brother. You know what I mean? I can't forsake him, man. You know what I mean? I can't forsake my brother. I have to still be loyal enough to be like, no, I have to tell him, I have to warn him of these things, man. So, like, read on.
Now, therefore, I pray thee, take heed to thyself unto the morning, and abide in a secret place, and hide thyself.
Go ahead.
And I will go out and stand beside my father in the field where thou art, and I will commune with my father of thee.
So he's trying to basically just help him out best way he can. You know what I mean? He's trying best way he can, trying to help him because remember he's the king of Israel. That King Saul is the king of Israel. He commands the armies of Israel. You know what I mean? The military, the all over, the police, everything. He can command the entire cities of Israel. You know what I mean? The whole nation, and he has such power, but pure wickedness. And his son only has so much that he can do, but he's still because of that brotherhood and that covenant that he made with David, he cannot forsake him. He's trying his best to do what he can from his position to help out. What verse you in?
4, sir.
Khan, if you just read on to verse 6.
And Jonathan spake good of David unto Saul his father, and said unto him, let not the king sin against his servant, against David, because he have not sinned against thee, and because
Go ahead.
And because his works have been to thee-ward very good.
So there you go. So he's trying to plead with his father, trying to get his father to see sense and trying to reason with him. Trying to be like, listen, man, this is a man who's righteous, man. He's blameless on. He's only followed your command, only followed your orders, and only ever served righteously and with humility, man, and wisely so. And you're trying to plead with that. Listen, man, don't corrupt yourself and allow yourself to sin and attack a righteous man for no good reason. You're trying to get him to be reasoned with, and trying to get to him, trying to help him as best as you can. You know what I mean? Trying to be like, you know what? Listen, man. Trying to show him sense. Trying to show him that level of rebuke. You see, this is an example of rebuke. You understand? This is his father, and this is the king of Israel. But he's coming in a humble way. Someone that's above him, his father and the king. But he's still trying to rebuke him. He's still having that righteous spirit to be like, listen, man. He's righteous. He ain't done nothing wrong. He's only done you right, and you're corrupting yourself. You're gonna sin by this thing, man. You're gonna kill him for what? You know what I mean? He's trying to rebuke his father's soul with humility and respect, but he's still trying to rebuke him and trying to reason with him. But read on.
For he did put his life in his hand, and slew the Philistine, and the Lord wrought a great salvation for all Israel. Thou sawest it, and didst rejoice. Wherefore then wilt thou sin against innocent blood, to slay David without a cause? And Saul hearkened unto the voice of Jonathan, and Saul sware, as the Lord liveth, he shall not be slain.
So now Saul said that he swore on the Most High. He said he swore as the Lord liveth. He swore on the Most High. Understand? Now he said he won't slay him, because he heard his son, and he heard his son's plea and his rebuke, and he said that like he's acting like, you know, he heard him and he's gonna listen. He said he swore, right? But why was he wrong? Why do we know that Saul was lying? Everybody online, just type it in, or Trooper, okay, on if you like to answer it. Like why do we know that Saul was not correct? He was lying. Why do we know that he was not telling the truth? Just anyone online, if you think you have the answer, or you have the answer, just type it in. Why? The question is again, why do we know that Saul was lying? How based on that scripture, how can we tell that Saul was wrong and he was false in his sayings? Give it about 2 minutes. Okay, we'll give it a minute, not 2 minutes, because it might take too long.
It's like it's if I could just say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not that answer to this, but just the root of this. Like, just because the girls, the sisters, or said, Saul killed thousands and David killed 10,000. This is what a woman said.
God, for real. That's true though. That's where it all began. Literally. You know what I mean? So something again, but that's what I touched on earlier about the whole fact of being for nothing. Like our brothers today, like just like back then, we would hate our brother for next to literally nothing. Like he didn't remember, David didn't do nothing to him. He didn't commit no offense. He didn't say nothing to him. You know what I mean? He didn't do nothing. He didn't actually do anything to him. But because of the situation, and because someone was getting more praise than you, now you hate him. Like that's what goes on. And that's a king as well. Imagine that. That's a king, man. He's got all the power, all the wealth, all the women. What doesn't he have? And you can't even just let him have that little praise. That's the spirit of even some of our brothers in the world today. Like, many brothers in the world. Listen, man, they will have all the money. They'll be the best drug dealer on the planet. You have all the whores, all the drugs, all the rest of it. You see one brother get one woman, and because he likes that woman, now you hate that brother. You know what I'm saying? And you got all them hoes, you got all what you think is great in this world, and you got whatever you got. And just because that brother's got one thing that you don't have, you hate him. And that's within our communities, man. That's within the Black and Hispanic and Native American community. Like, listen, this is something to learn from, and it's something to bear witness to. This is the things that these things go on. This is how we should not be, man, because it doesn't even make sense, man. You know what I mean? We're being oppressed by nations round about us. We're at war with nations round about us, man. And you choose to have hatred or malice against your brother based on literally nothing. You know what I mean? Any excuse to hate your own, man. All right, then we're gonna just jump on it because obviously no one ain't trying to get the answer. So if you read that last bit again, Bob Kishar. I think it was verse 6.
Okay, verse 6, sir.
Go on.
And Saul hearkened unto the voice of Jonathan, and Saul sware, as the Lord liveth, he shall not be slain.
So how we know that Saul was wrong, because he swore on the Lord, man. He made that's a swear word. That's a swear. Right. Now for the understanding and the clarification, swearing is not saying F this, F that, or bitch this or this, that. That's not swearing. Those are just words of profanity. They may be offensive, or they may be rude in speech. But that's not what the Bible calls swearing. Swearing is making a vow that you have no right to make. How can Saul swear on the Lord, the Most High Power? You know what I mean? You don't have that right. You can't swear on the Lord. You can't say that. You don't have that right to make that vow. You can't say that. Who are you to say that the Lord live? You can't say that, man. You know what I mean? All you can do is in your own say and make your yeas be yea and make your nay be nay, man. That's what you're supposed to do as a man. You ain't supposed to be swearing on nothing. You ain't supposed to be making that vow against the Lord like as if you have that power to make that swear. So like if you get me, I got a precept for that as well. If you get me Matthew chapter 5 and verse 34, you know what I mean? Like this is in the Bible about swearing, man. This is what swearing is in the Bible. It ain't saying F this, F that. That's not what swearing is. Swearing is literally making, putting the Lord's name in vain, man. You putting the Lord, you know what I mean? You putting, when people in the world say on God, you know what I'm saying? Say on God this. That's swearing, man. You know what I mean? You don't have that authority to make that. You know what I mean? Because more time you're lying anyway. And you just, you know what I mean? And secondly, you don't have the right to do that, man. So I can read that, Welcome Show.
Got one concept. Matthew 5, verse 34. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne.
There you go, man. That's the Most High's throne, man. So I can read on.
Got one concept. Nor by the earth, for it is his footstool. Neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black.
There you go, man. You don't have the authority to swear on your own head, man. You can't say on my life. The people say in the world on my life or on my mom's or on my this or on my that. Listen, man, you don't have that authority. You don't have that right. As a man or woman, you understand, the only thing you can say is yay or nay. You know what I mean? And you say, and that's why the truth, brothers is in the truth, say, Lord, allow. You know what I mean? That's what we say, Lord, allow. If the Lord allows it and he wills it, then okay, yeah. That's what you say if you can't confirm it. But you say, you see what I'm saying? You say yes, and you make sure you live up to that, man. But you don't say, oh, I swear on this, I'm this, or you know what I mean? You don't put no swear on nothing, man. You don't make no vow upon things that you don't have no authority over, man. You understand? Right. You don't have you can't even swear on your own head in your own life. You can't even do that. You don't have the power to, let's say you said I swear on my this, right? Let's just say you said that, right?
Sure.
If you lie, which most of the time people in the world they're lying anyway, but let's just say you lie, right? And you say that and you lie. By right, you should be able to say, you know what, I'm gonna kill myself, or I'm dead. I'm going to die if I don't get it right. You know, if what I'm saying is not true, I'm going to die. That you don't have the authority to do that. You see what I'm saying? That's the Most High is the one who raises and puts down to the ground. You know what I mean? The Lord is the one who is authority, and He is the one who decides who dies and who lives. No man can decide that, man. You understand? You know what I mean? So that's how we know that Saul was wrong. That's how you know anyone is wrong, because they don't know what they're saying. You can't say that, man. That's what swearing is in the Bible. just for everyone's clarity. You understand? But so like if you jump that, yeah, and you get me verse 7 in Samuel's, yeah, 19
Hold
and
on.
7, yeah.
Samuel, is that Samuel 27 or the one?
No, same chapter like before, just
Salakia.
just just verse 7.
Okay. Salakia, Psalm 19, verse 7. And
Fine.
Jonathan called David, and Jonathan shewed him all those things. And Jonathan brought David to Saul,
Mm-hmm.
and he was in his presence as in times past.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 8. And there was war again, and David went out and fought with the Philistine and
So
slew.
there, like so now obviously, because of what Saul said, right? He made a swear, and he swore he made a swear. So like, no, but he made a vow and swearing on the Most High power. You understand? And he said that he would not harm David. You know what I mean? So David was now convinced by Jonathan to think that everything's cool now, everything's cushy, all right. But then, so now he's in the face of Saul, and he's in his presence again. You know what I mean? He's no longer fleeing, but now war comes again with the Philistines. You know what I mean? Yeah, read on.
What do I call, sir? And fought with the Philistine and slew them with great slaughter,
Mm-hmm.
and they fled from him. And the evil spirit from the Lord was upon Saul, as
Mm-hmm.
he sat in his house with his javelin in his hand, and
So
David
he,
played with his hand.
so there you go, man. You understand? Saul is back at it again.
Mm.
He said he swore and he made a vow that he would not harm David's head. But then, David was out fighting the battles of Israel and taking orders from Saul and still being victorious. And he still had that hatred within him, man. He still has that wickedness within him and hating his brother without a cause, man. Without a cause that is just. There's no just cause you can have for hating your own people. There's never a cause for it. You understand? But when it says without a cause, meaning he ain't committed an offense against you. You understand? Nothing offense that is in the Bible that he actually did do something. He didn't do nothing to him. And he still bared that hatred and that malice in his heart. You know what I mean? So like if you jump forward though, because for time's sake anyway, get me First Samuel's same book, chapter 20 now, yeah, verse 1.
First Samuel 20, verse 1. And David fled from Naioth, or Naioth,
Mm.
in Ramah, and came and said before Jonathan, what have I done? What is mine iniquity? And what is my sin before thy father, that he
Mm-hmm.
seek my life?
So there you go, man. He's like, listen, man, what have I done? He's an innocent man. He's a righteous man. And he has every right to be like, what have I done? What have I actually done for him to deserve this great hatred and malice against my head and want my blood? You know what I mean? What has he actually done? He ain't done nothing. You know what I mean? He's coming out of himself and he's like, listen, man, he's fed up with this. You know what I'm saying? He's fed up because he's like, bro, what literally did I do to cause such things against me? You know what I mean? Read on.
And he said unto him, God forbid, thou shalt not die. Behold, my father will do nothing, either great or small,
Mm-hmm.
but that he will show thee, Shalakia, in great or small, but that he will show it to me. And why should my father hide this thing from me? It is not so.
Mm-hmm.
And David sware moreover, and said, thy father certainly knoweth that I have found grace in thine eyes. And he saith, let not Jonathan know this, lest he be grieved.
Mm-hmm.
But truly, as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, there is but one, Salakia, there is but a step between me and death.
So there you go, man. He's like, listen, man. What have I done? What have I actually done? What have I actually done for him to deserve this great hatred and malice against my head and want my blood? You know what I mean? What has he actually done? He ain't done nothing. You know what I mean? He ain't done nothing. So there you go, man. He's like, listen, man. it is just but one step between him and death, man. Literally, like he's been throughout the book of Samuel, right? You know what I mean? We skipped ahead, but he's been fleeing. You know what I mean? Men that have been sent to kill him, man. He has been on the run. You know what I mean? A wanted man, as it was. You understand? Him and the
Right.
loyal men with him have been on the run, trying to survive, trying to you know what I mean, stay alive. You know what I mean? It's lucky. You know what I mean? What verse was that?
That was verse um 3, sir.
Can't. If you read on to verse 5, Baba Show.
Come. Then said Jonathan unto David, whatsoever thy soul desireth, I will even do it for thee.
So Jonathan said to David, whatsoever your soul desires, so whatever you need to do to help you out in this situation, as his brother, you know what I mean, he's gonna hold it down for him and he's gonna try to help him out best he can because he knows he's on the run, he's near to death. And Jonathan is just being his brother and trying to be there with him, man, and trying to help him out. You know what I mean? That's true brotherhood, man. You know what I mean? That loyalty that he has, because listen, man, he's a prince. He could just be like, you know what, you know what I mean? It's sad what's happened to David, but there's not much I can do about it. He could just turn his back on him, which is what we see in the world. But this is true brotherhood because we understand that even in the midst of his power and in the midst of all that he could lose in turning against his father, you know what I mean? He's doing what's right because for brotherhood's sake. And he's like to him, listen, man, whatever you need, man, money, food, you know, assistance with anything, he's saying he will help you out. Read on.
Come, sir. And David said unto Jonathan, behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I should not fall, Salakia, and I should not fail to sit with the king at meat.
Mm-hmm.
But let me go, that I may hide myself in the field unto the third day at even.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 6. If
So
thy
I can
father,
drop that though. Just jump ahead. If you jump to verse 17.
concert, and Jonathan caused David to swear again, because he loved him.
Mm-hmm.
For he loved him as he loved his own soul.
There you go, man. That's his brother, man. You know what I mean? That's true brotherhood, man. You know what I mean? So read on.
Quran 18. Then Jonathan said to David, tomorrow is the new moon, and thou shalt be missed.
Mm-hmm.
Because thy seat will be empty.
So he'd be missed, man. He's like, listen, man, this is a situation where, you know, as his brother, he's like, listen, man, he's got to be there, you know what I mean, for the beginning of the month, right? You know what I mean? And he has to then fulfill his duties as a prince in Israel. He has to fulfill his duties and attend because he's now put between both because it's like he has to be over there, but at the same time he's trying to vow that he will help him best as he can, you know what I mean? So like if you jump ahead though, that's kind of like yeah, if you jump to verse 30.
Quran. Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan,
Mm-hmm.
and he said unto him, thou son of the perverse, rebellious woman,
Mm-hmm.
do not I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion?
So there you go, man. So now he's chosen the son of Jesse because now the confusion part is talking about is literally like, listen, man, I'm the king, I'm your father, and he's basically saying like he's corrupted you. You should be following me. You should be following what I say. He's an enemy. He is a man on the run. He should be hunted down. But Jonathan knows that, listen, man, he can't forsake him because he's righteous. He ain't done nothing wrong. And now Saul has turned on him because he realizes that he knows that, listen, man, this is his friend and he's helping him out. Read on.
Quran. And unto confusion of thy mother's nakedness.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does that mean, sir? What does that mean?
So I can read it again?
Quran. I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion, and unto the confusion of thy mother's nakedness.
I mean, don't quote me on it, but I believe he's just making a mockery to his mother and him. Because remember, back in them times, they had many wives. So he's like, listen, man, the spawn from this woman, he's just mocking her, basically like saying she's a whore. But don't quote me on it. I'm gonna go to Captain for Russia and get the full breakdown on that. But I'll come back with the, you know what I mean? Read on.
For as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established, nor thy kingdom.
So now he's saying, you know what I mean? He's like, listen, man, you will never rule. You know what I mean? Because he's a prince. He's entitled. He's next in line. He's supposed to rule. But he's saying, you will never rule, man. You will never do this. You'll never do that. He's just bringing him down, basically. You know what I mean? He got a tirade of insults and just bringing him down, just saying that, listen, man, you'll never rule. You'll never be established. You'll never be king. Blah blah blah. You understand? Read on.
Wherefore thou send and fetch him unto me, for he shall surely die.
Read on.
And Jonathan answered Saul, his father, and said unto him, wherefore shall he be slain? What has he done? And Saul cast a javelin at him to smite him, whereby Jonathan knew that it was determined of his father to slay David. So Jonathan arose from the table in fierce anger, and did eat no meat the second day of the month, for he was grieved for David.
So there you go, man. You understand? He got up and he was like, listen, man tried to kill me with a javelin. Man tried to turn on me because, you know what I mean, he tried to reach out to him. He tried to reason with him and tried to show him, but listen, man, he's just too far gone. So Jonathan just like, you know what, forget this, man. I ain't trying to eat and sit there at this table with you. You know what I'm saying? You're wicked, man. So he just walked off, you know what I mean? What verse was you in?
I'm now in 35, sir.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass on the morning that Jonathan went out into the field at the time appointed with David, and a little lad with him. And he said unto his lad, run, find out now the arrows which I shoot. And as the lad ran, he shot an arrow beyond him. And when the lad was come to the place of the arrow which Jonathan had shot, Jonathan cried after the lad and said, is not the arrow beyond thee? And Jonathan cried after the lad, make good speed, haste, stay not. And Jonathan's lad gathered up the arrows and came to his master. But the lad knew not anything. Only Jonathan and David knew the matter.
So it's basically like a secret, because David's in hiding and they have a specific time that they meet to talk and that, you know what I mean? And they meet because if they found out, so they have their own secret little code basically. So the arrows and that is all their own subliminous little message so that they can communicate without being detected, basically. You know what I mean? And the child, the little boy, he didn't know nothing. He's like, what the hell is that? He don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
And Jonathan gave his artillery unto his lad, and said unto him, go carry them to the city. And as soon as the lad was gone, David arose out of the place toward the south, and fell on his face to the ground, and bowed himself 3 times. And they kissed one another and wept.
So now, when it's talking about a kiss, right, it ain't talking about kissing on the lips and all that gay shit. It's like, it ain't talking about none of that. But obviously, fake Israelites and Christians alike like to teach that, and that's not what it means. The kiss is a greeting. If you look up the word kiss, if you could look up the word kiss and get the archaic definition, it is a form of greeting, and it's just like when we salute brothers in the truth. You know what I'm saying? That's a kiss. This is a salute. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's what we touch hands, touch fists. You know what I'm saying? That's a kiss. That's a salute. It's a greeting. You understand? But I'm gonna let the trooper get the definition, because obviously, people are defiled, man. They try to put defiled, uncleanness within our scriptures, and that is not what it's about. You know what I mean? It's talking about a salute, a greeting. It ain't talking about kissing. I mean, some of the heathen nations, they actually kiss each other like that. That's not what it's referring to. You know what I mean?
So like I'm getting it in the Zondervan, right?
Nah. Just
okay.
well, actually, yeah. It's okay. Let me try to find it. Try to find it in the Zondervan. I was referring to Google, but actually.
Okay.
Yeah, if you get on Google, I'll try to find it in the Zondervan.
Okay, no sir. So
Yeah, just kiss, yeah.
So like I said, yeah, I don't think it has. No, it don't have the one that we want in this one.
Try scrolling down to the archaic. Just type in Old English kiss. That definition. It should come up. If I can actually find it here, that'll be proper.
Definition, okay. Oh, okay, got it here, sir.
Got it here? All right, go on.
Sir. The word kiss comes from the Old English verb kassen, meaning touch with the lips. It's used to describe the. Like the other one.
No, that's not it.
That's not the one.
Read further down. There should be something more on it though.
It's described. It is used to describe the way in which two people greet each other, affectionate by touching lips. Nah, Salakia. Wrong one. That's not the one. Salakia, sir.
Nah.
I thought I saw something. Salakia.
No, sweat. That's not the one.
The meaning of English kiss. Kiss with no, Salakia.
Old English greeting.
Yeah, I can type it in. You know what I mean? Old English kiss definition. I put. We'll just try this. Salakia.
Try and find this real quick though.
Original meaning: embrace, kiss, embrace. The word kiss.
No, go ahead. Read on from there. There should be more on that.
So okay, yeah, I'm gonna read that. To touch with. No, it's like it's not on this.
No sweat. We'll find it eventually. But let's read on from there anyway. While I try to find it.
Concept.
What verse was you in?
So I'm just trying to find myself, sir.
Okay, yeah, it should be in the 30s. It should be like 37 or 36.
Concept. Concept 41.
Yeah, go ahead.
And as soon as the lad was gone, David arose out of a place toward the south and fell on his face to the ground and bowed himself 3 times. And they kissed one another and wept one with another until David exceeded.
Go ahead.
And Jonathan said to David, "Go in peace, for as much as we have sworn, both of us, in the name of the Lord, saying, the Lord be between me and thee, and between my seed and thy seed forever." And he arose and departed, and Jonathan went into the city.
What verse you in?
That's the end of it, sir.
Okay, no, so if you jump to chapter 24 and verse 2, Bokashar,
We've
got like a minute left, so let's just yeah.
Alright. 1 Samuel 24, verse 2. Then Saul took their 1,000 chosen men out of all Israel and went to seek David and his men up on the rocks in the wild goats.
So he's gone to, so you know, wild goats, they dwell in the cliffs and the hills, right? So that's what it's referring to, mountain goats. You know what I'm saying? So he's hiding, him and his loyal men with him are hiding in the hills. You know what I'm saying? And Saul sent a dispatch of men to go and literally, forward James, what's that? Forward, Most High in Christ. You know what I'm saying? Young man James, he gave us a definition. What was it?
I've got it right here.
So 312? 312, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, 312. So.
Yeah, Most, you got it, yeah? 312, yeah?
Yeah, kiss.
Yeah, forward again, James, man. You know what I'm saying?
Forward, sir. Yeah.
Caught me off guard, and that, you know what I'm saying?
And common kiss. The Zondervan Compact Dictionary Bible, 312 kiss. A common greeting among male relatives. Yeah. Male and female relatives in farewell. And before death, the kiss had more formal characters in connection with a blessing or the anointing of a king.
Right, so it's not a literal kiss. It's not a kiss of the lips. Read on. There should be more on that, though.
Concept. The kiss was generally given on the cheek.
No, not that one. No, read on down. It's there. I know it's there. Read on.
Cheek, color cheek.
Hold on. No, one second.
Forehead.
No, that's it. Jump down to where it says. No, that's not it. Where is it? No, I'll come back with it. Don't worry. That's not the one, but I'll come back with it. That's not the one there. I'm trying to find it though. Right. No sweat. We'll get it though. But yeah, forward for the enemy, but that's not the one. That's not the one I'm looking for. But no sweat. If you jump back to where you was though, Kian.
Concept.
24, yeah, chapter 24, because we kind of
24
verse 2.
Yeah. Verse 3, Salakia. And he.
Yeah, go on.
And he came to the sheepcotes by the way, where was a cave, and Saul went in and covered his feet, and David and his men remained in the sides of the cave. And the men of David said unto him, Behold, the day of which the Lord said unto thee, Behold, I will deliver thine enemy into thine hand.
So the men that was with David, they was like, listen, this day has come, man. We'll deliver the enemy into their hand because Saul was David's enemy. You understand? They were enemies. They were still brothers as a nation of people, but they were enemies, man. And the Lord said He will deliver the righteous. He will deliver to the righteous their enemies into their hands. So that's what His men was talking about. Read on.
And I will deliver thine enemies into thine hand, that thou mayest do to him as it shall seem good unto thee.
Right.
And David arose and cut off the skirt of Saul's robe privily. And it came to pass afterward that David's heart smote him.
So understand that this, yeah, David had his sword in his hand and could have cut Saul's head off, man. It was right there. And this man's been hunting him down and causing him stress and madness for no reason, unjustly. You understand? But David thought of mercy, man. He remembered that he is the Lord's anointed. You understand? And he only cut the skirt of his garment, meaning the end or the hem of your garment. You understand? Read on.
Because he had cut off Saul's skirt, and he said unto his men, The Lord forbid that I should do this thing unto my master. The Lord's anointed to stretch forth mine hand against him.
So there you go, man. David understood that even though he was unrighteous, he's still his master. That's still who he takes orders from. You understand? And even though he understood that, listen, man, this man is wicked. Even though he had the power to kill him, right? You understand? He's still the Lord's anointed, man, and David doesn't have the right to take his life. Unless he was in combat and defending himself, that's different. But he was not in that situation. The man was lying there in the cave, sleeping, you know what I mean, defenseless. You know what I mean? He couldn't defend himself regardless. That you just kill him, That'll be unrighteous, you understand? Read on.
Quran Council. But Saul, Salakia, seeing he is the anointed of the Lord, so David stayed his servants with these words and suffered them not to rise against Saul. But Saul rose up out of the cave and went on his way. David also arose afterward and went out of the cave and cried unto Saul, saying, My Lord, the king. And when Saul looked behind him, David stopped with his face. Sorry, Salakia. David stooped with his face to the earth and bowed himself. And David said unto Saul, Wherefore hearest thou men's words, saying, Behold, David seek thy hurt?
There you go, man. So understand this, man. David came humbly, and he brought forth the proof that he could have killed him. I think he shows the skirt of his garment, right? You understand? And he spared him, man. He showed him that is the true righteousness of the Lord, man. That's how it used to be with your brothers, man. No matter how wicked they may be.
That's right.
Listen, if you have an opportunity to show mercy and show the light of the Lord, you will show mercy unto your people, man. Right. He's his enemy, but he is the enemy that you're supposed to love. That is the enemy. Your brothers and sisters in your community, your people, those are the enemies that you're supposed to love. Those are the enemies that you're supposed to give your compassion to. You know what I'm saying? That's the enemy that Christ is referring to. Not no heathen that's been slaughtering and enslaving your people. No. Your brother. Saul and David were brothers of the same bloodline of people, man. You understand? They are Israelites. And he showed mercy unto him because he's the Lord anointed, regardless. Read on.
Salakia, sir. I come out of it, Salakia. My bad. Salakia.
Just verse 11, I believe.
Come on, sir. 24:11.
Go on.
Moreover, my father see the skirt of thy robe in my hand. For in that I cut off the skirt of thy robe and killed thee not. Know thou, and see that there is neither evil nor transgression in my hand, and I have not sinned against thee. Yet thou huntest my soul to take it. And the Lord's judge, and Salakia, and the Lord judge between me and thee, and the Lord avenge me of thee. But my hand shall not be upon thee.
Read on.
As saith the proverb of the ancient, wickedness proceedeth from the wicked, but my hand shall not be upon thee.
There you go, man. You understand? He had mercy upon his brother, and even though his brother was trying to kill him, he still showed the mercy of the Lord, because why? He will not corrupt himself, man. He will not corrupt himself with harming the Lord's anointed, with the children of Israel, man. You understand? He was not in a position where he needed to, so he did not. You understand? He did not kill him because he did not need to kill him. You understand? And because that is the way, because we supposed to have our mercy and compassion unto our own people. And with that, that's the class. Pass the class over to Trooper Hakiyan Karab with the announcements.
Copy up.
Oh.
Let me just get this like this. If you could send the announcements, if you could, sir.
Where is it? Actually, for time's sake, just a courtesy salute to the teacher. So with that, I imagine, which means to stand. I imagine Shabbat. Second. I imagine Shabbat. I imagine Barak. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Barakatah.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Barakatah.
Yashamatah. Class dismissed. All right, Shalom. Yahweh Shem Barakatah.
Shalom. Yahweh Shem Barakatah.